morning, everybody. My name's Darlene, and I have Parkinson's. I also have gloves that work. I got them today from Amazon. It's like my saga of slippers and shoes that, couldn't get anything that was working. I have gone through a number of different gloves, and they all have really good features, but none of them had all of the features. The last ones I had didn't have the non-slip stuff here, and they were terrific for the arthritis. Like they kept my hands feeling really good in the things, but they slipped on the tires. The ones that had good pads here, they had full fingers and I couldn't touch my screen. These ones I can leave on, I can touch my screen. I can just take them off when I'm doing something with water. That's, they're not recommended to be getting wet. And I went for a little tootle this morning and my chair was working great. This has been a real problem for me because I have to have somebody push me when I can't go forward, and I couldn't manage to get myself to go forward. I could go backwards, but I couldn't go forwards. So, and Claudine said, why aren't you holding on to the little rim thing? Because my fingers were getting caught. I can't feel my fingers, so they were getting caught in the spoke stuff, and I was, not knowing that it was happening until it hurt. So these ones, I don't have to put my fingers in there. I hold my fingers straight and I go. Now, I'm not sure how it'll work when I'm kind of froze up. We'll have to see about that, because that could be, I don't know, could be something or could be nothing. I don't know. We'll have to try it. I don't want to try it too soon because I don't want to get frozen up again. Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit today about there's a lot of new people, and they possibly don't know what I'm talking about when I say frozen up or on time or off time. I call it still and manic. For me, okay, every Parkinson patient, I'll preface this with every Parkinson patient has different symptoms and combinations of symptoms, and that's what makes it so hard to treat. The universal drug that's treating everybody is levodopa. It replaces the dopamine in our brain, but it has problems with that drug, hence the research that's been going on. So now, when I started out at 8 levodopa, and what would happen is I felt great. 8 levodopa, I felt great. It gave my brain what I needed. I took it 2, 2, 2, and 2. And it was working really good. Didn't take long till it didn't work. And when it didn't work, when my dose didn't work, I became very still. Now, when I say very still, I mean, think rigor mortis. Literally, my legs were cramped up and still. My hands were still. My face had a set expression. It was terrible because I had the pain when I was still. Now I take a dose of medicine after that, and now all of a sudden I'm moving again, and it feels wonderful. But this movement that I have, this isn't Parkinson's. Or when you see other people having this movement, it's called dyskinesia because it's coming from the medicine. It's not coming from the Parkinson's, it's coming from the medicine, because it's making the stillness of your body work. So when other people look at me, they see me moving, and then it happens on an instant. I should just say, when I took levodopa, then I had to up the dose. So we went from 8 to 12. It was not very long. It was within a year and a half that I went up to 28 daytime levodopa and 2 overnight levodopa, which is long acting. And I would still wake up in the nighttime with my brain telling me it was time to take medicine. When it wasn't, I had to wait until the morning. But when you get to that point, they try other things. The dyskinesia gets really bad. When you're on all that levodopa, it causes a lot of movement. Now, when other people look at me, it sometimes bothers them that I'm moving so much. When they look at me and I'm still, they don't think there's anything different about me. But for me, it's the very opposite. When I'm still, I can't think straight. My brain is really not working, and I have a lot of pain. So when the levodopa started to not work on me at 28 pills a day, my neurologist said, let's back it off. We're going to start to back it off. No, before she backed it off, she said, let's try this other medicine. And she tried another medicine. And yes, it backed the dyskinesia off a little bit, but do you know what it did? It gave me hallucinations. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I had to go into the hospital. I thought there was people talking about me all the time in the hall. I did not understand why my family wouldn't take me home. I saw people in the house. I saw people outside, and I could not be told that they weren't there. I saw them with my own eyes, and I was adamant that they were there. Why was everybody else pretending they weren't? Claudine said it was the closest she's seen to me literally being a nut job. You know, like, it was terrible. So we went back to the neurologist and said, I just can't take that drug. There's no way. She said, okay, we'll take you off of that one. And instantly the hallucinations went away and the dyskinesia came back. So then she talked about doing this new pro patch. And I tried that for a few months, and it wasn't doing anything for me. It wasn't doing anything. It was supposed to help, but it did not help, and it was very, very expensive. And my drug plan wasn't going to cover it all. And so I made the decision that it wasn't worth what it was supposed to do and was doing. It wasn't worth it. So that was stopped. And then I qualified to be a candidate for a surgical procedure that put a tube straight into my intestine. And, oh, I kicked something here. And when I would eat or whatever, the levodopa went in through the tube, kept a steady rate all day long. It wasn't up and down. Like, I would take my dose, I'd be manic, I'd be all over the place, and then as the dose came down, I'd be still, and then as I waited for the dose to work, and then I'd be manic. I literally was having a cycle like this all day long, and I couldn't count on when it would work and when it wouldn't work. So this inner tube, oh my gosh, can I show you what I'm doing? I'm flinging my feet around, and this table right here has a top that comes, and my foot keeps kicking that. Crazy. All right, I'm going to try and not do that again. So, anyway, what was happening was I was having all these ups and downs, and it was crazy, and they said, let's try this one, but it wasn't going to be reversible. It was going to be for the rest of my life, and they'd administer this through here, and then if I ever needed a feeding tube, they could do it through there. And I qualified for it, and then I didn't qualify for it because my weight had dropped so drastically that I was very sick. And they said at the rate that I was at, I probably wouldn't last very long. So I had to try to gain weight. I was in the hospital for a while, and then I had to come out and try to gain a little bit of weight. I was down to 122 pounds. I started at 291 pounds, and it was like in 2 years, less than 2 years, I was down at 122. That's 170 pounds. That's too much. And what happened is, not only is my skin all saggy and everything else, but it's very hard to maintain your weight properly. I don't want to gain weight back, but I want to be healthier. So we decided, our doctor, my daughter, and myself, that I, with my stature, was 130 was going to be about perfect. So anywhere between 130 and 135 is great, but I shouldn't dip into the 20s. So I'm trying. Last month, I weigh only once a month. I do it on the 1st, and I see what that is, and then I don't do it again. I don't want to fixate on the weight. So on the 1st, I was 130.9, right where I want to be. So I said, okay, so far so good. And that's been since December. So I've maintained that for December. I think that I'm pretty well maintaining it now. So anyway, then they said to me, unless your weight was steady for a long time, you weren't going to get that surgical procedure. And I got thinking about it, and I said to Claudine, I don't want to have that anyway. I said, I really don't. whenever I am taken is fine by me. And I would like to have more time, but we'll see. And I know that every time I ask the doctor, how am I doing? She always says the same thing. She says, it's advanced, you know it's a progressive disease. And that's what she says. Like, you're in the advanced stage, she said. So, okay, so I don't know what that means, but here I am still, and I'm going to make the best of my life as it is. So, we're backing off the levodopa now. So, the too much levodopa causes me to be so crazy with my movements that I almost can't do things because I'm just so crazy with them. And what it does to my brain is I can't stop fixating. So therefore, I forget to drink, I forget to eat, I forget to do anything if I'm doing a job. I just keep going and doing it. And I can't seem to unfocus on whatever my job is. So Claudine, she always has to remind me, Mom, you need to take a drink, you have to stop to have dinner. I mean, if they didn't stop me from that, who knows when I'd eat. But anyway, I do accomplish a lot when I have the movement. When I'm still, I'm still. I sit and I think and I contemplate and I plan what I'm going to do next. And, so it's unfortunate. I've been told I probably won't be able to travel much. Claudine said no. And I have to listen, unfortunately. I would like to be able to do things. And sometimes I think I can, but I can't, Or I think even going shopping. I think, oh, I'm having a good time. Let's go shopping. And we go shopping. But then while I'm out, I will have a dose that doesn't work. And then I'm back where I started from. So anyway, that's the way that works. Hills and valleys. And the neuropathy in my hands and feet are, well, my feet are now, can't feel all the way up to my knees. My fingers, I can't feel my fingers at all. I coming up here, I have a little tiny bit of feeling, but not much. So it's like when I thought I broke maybe my foot from running into the cupboard, it wasn't even sore. Like I couldn't even tell, but it was swollen. It was all helter-kelter, switched around. And Claudia said, well, we have to go and have that checked because look at it, like we can't leave it. Well, it wasn't broke, thankfully, but, could have been. When I fell on my face, I went flat on my face. Big black eyes. Oh, it was terrible. Broke my hip. It's like all those things. So anyway, I tend to be very careful now. I stay in my chair most of the time, but I am getting stronger. And I do take chances now and then because I want to be able to walk a little bit. And so I do take a few chances to do that, but I'm doing my exercises every day. And so I'm glad that I'm doing those exercises. I'm glad I got home care to help me with it and make me accountable for it. Anyway, I really have prattled on here today. I just wanted some of the new people to understand what I was talking about. And wanted to show off my new gloves. Anyway, I also want to say I've now got an intro and an outro on my video here. As you all know, I got a copyright hit for something on one of my videos, so I had to take, I assumed it was the intro music, but anyway, so I took the intro music down. So Caroline, Canadian gal, she lives outside of Brandon on a farm, and she's a really nice person. She has a great channel. Go check her out. Give her lots of love. Say I said hello. And she offered to help me with that. I just sent her some pictures, and she put it together and got the music there. So I have a intro and an outro. And I couldn't be happier. And, she's a special person to do that because not everybody would, take the time to do it. And I had no idea how to do it. I was just hoping that Claudine would do it for me. But we're very busy with trying to get a few things done around here. So, Caroline, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I can't say it enough. Anyway, go check her out, please. Tell her I said hi. Okay, I'm going to go for now. And Claudine's got a lovely pork roast in the slow cooker. And the dog is outside and it's very hot. So I want to go get the dog and give her a drink and maybe bring her in the cool house. All right, everybody. Have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Come on, it's not going off.